Misty terrain. Ooh.
Welcome back to the weekly recap. We're on week 5 this week. I have the lovely Anders here with me and a guest commentator. We have Devin as well, coach of the Mid-Valley Meowths. Hey guys.
Hi. I also I also do the rock gym, and I'm on trial still.
Trial mod.
There we go. Yes, that.
Didn't you get promoted like 2 weeks ago?
They've never made the announcement. I'm waiting for Zol to pull the trigger. Bam's just gonna keep dangling that little treat over my face.
All right.
Hey, yeah, it's Ams here. Good to be back as usual. Also, technically leader of the Dark Ship. Never said that before, but Devin's reminded me.
Yeah. See, yeah, it's good that we have gyms. But yeah, cool beans. You guys, I'm gonna shut up.
All right, so we're going to move on to the red leaderboard today. Simiwinny Sears are still at the top there. Ducks creeping up behind them with a 4-1 win-loss for both of those teams, but a differential of 6 between them, so 11 plus kills for the Simiwinny Sears, and Psyducks sitting at +5. San Diego Wingulls aren't too far behind. They've only one win down, but their differential is also very, very high. So if they manage to creep their way back up into tying for that first, second, third spot, they'll definitely be a contender for those top 2 positions. We're going to look at the round that we had this week. So we had the Birmingham Buzzwolves facing off against the mighty Psyducks. The Ducks came ahead with a 5-0 win to them. Simiwinny Sears also had a 5-0 win against the Blazing Torchics. The Mid-Valley Meowths had a 5-4 win against the San Diego Wingulls. That one went to timer.
Meow meow.
Only timer match for the Red Division, thankfully. And
Meow
then
meow meow.
Utah Mews picked up their second win of the season, just etching out ahead of the Atlanta Braveries with a 1-0 win to them. And then another 5-0 win with the Gippsland Garbadors taking out the Lionheart Lucarios.
If you look at the board, like they're fighting for the playoff spot at the moment as well. So if you look, there's 3 people at 2 to 3. So this could end up with another season where there's many people in a similar spot fighting for the playoff spot, and it will be down to differential. I mean, the Atlanta Braveries and the Mid-Valley Meowths, Dev, have the exact same score at -1.
I would like to take this moment to point out that Kasem denied it to me by switching a lot.
He should have Anders. Kill your moms, yeah?
Oh, yeah, totally. Anders, how does it feel to be in first place, by the way, after last season and the season before that and everything?
It feels great for now. For now, big star.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. This is my redemption arc.
Clearly, because, like, that differential's huge. Plus 11. And like,
I have you to thank for it. Sorry, Kism. But Kism would still be, if he beat you, he would still be at number 1 because his differential was higher than mine. It was losing that one. Was it one differential? Yeah, that one differential to you that made him the same differential to me, and then I got the win ahead of him.
That's nice. That's good. I'm glad I could help. Sorry, Kasem.
Utah Mews, Mid-Valley Meowths, and Atlanta Braveries all fighting for the same differential or the same score. And then again, we have 3 people, 3-2, all fighting for same spots, all over differential. We've got the Birmingham Buzzwolves, Gippsland Garbadors, and the San Diego Wingulls now. So it's and joint on bottom, we've got the Lionheart Lucarios and Blazing Torchics. So
at least both those teams have picked up a win.
So
yes.
I fully anticipate, sorry, Bam, Kasem to take second place spot by the end of the season. I expect Anders to maintain first because he's had insane luck and done some wild things, and pressure. I imagine that, I think it's going to be, Anders, probably Kasem, then Bam, then everybody else. That's my finals my playoffs ordering predictions.
That's your
right
playoffs
there.
predictions, is it?
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to really know that one by the end of next week because we do
True.
actually have Kasem and Bam facing off against each other for round 6. So
Ooh.
that is, that's going to be a
The-
really good match to look forward to.
Bam is promising to stall.
I don't think he's got it in him, honestly.
No,
Like,
he's been saying.
If he does,
He
I think he's
says-
going to have to do it in the bathroom so he can throw up while he's doing it.
Yeah. Pretty sure he's allergic to stool, yeah.
Well, man,
Which-
if history shows us one thing, the 2 losses Kasem has are to bulky, stally teams.
To be fair, he
Just
was trying to
saying.
bulk and stall himself, and that's really what got him behind.
I mean, yeah. It's a terrible game to be playing.
Yes. You hear that, Harun?
It comes
Lol.
down. The shade. Romano casts
Oof.
Nightshade, it's super effective. Shall we get the predictions for this round? So in the bottom left, we've got the boards there, the matches. Do you want to see level off your predictions, Devin, since you're the guest?
Oh, mine? Okay. BT is... Who's BT? That's the
Blazing
Boltons, right?
Torchics, Nat.
Blazing
Nat.
Torchics. Who was that
Versus-
captain?
So Blazing
Nat.
Torchics versus the Birmingham Buzzwolves. So that's Nat versus Jamie.
I'm going to put my money on Nat.
Rightio. The San Diego Wingulls versus the Mighty Psyducks.
I think it's gonna be. I think Bam's gonna pull off something shady and win. He's probably just gonna DQ Kasem, honestly.
But you predicted that Kasem would come second in the leaderboard. If Bam wins,
Yeah.
you'll have 2 points ahead.
I don't understand how math works, sir.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
Anyway, Utah Muse, Regan versus the Simiwinny Sears.
Anders, destroy her, please.
I think Anders knows what's coming anyway. He should be able to prep for this.
Honestly, I lost that first week pretty handedly to that Mamoswine, and every time I see that Mamo go down, I am happy.
Then we got
I'm just
the Gippsland Garbadors, Scotty versus yourself, the Mid-Valley Meowths.
Scotty's gonna win, obviously.
Of course.
No, I'm kidding. I couldn't go. No. I got this. I've got to win because.
You're representing
Yeah,
for this
whatever.
match.
I'm gonna win because meow. That's why.
That's probably the match I'm looking forward to the most for the red team for round 6 is yours versus Scotty.
I have nothing to
That
say
and,
about the match. I have not
Bam.
trialed yet.
Bam and Conceived's match and Devin and Scotty's match. That's the ones I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, definitely looking
sure.
forward to Bam and Kasem as well. The
It's just 'cause
Lionheart
I'm fun to
Lucaria's Mayank versus the Atlanta Braveries. Jay, who do you think's going to win that one?
Mank, win for me.
Believe in yourself, dude. Believe in yourself.
I will give you I will literally let's hit me up after this. I will stay up late to trial you. I want to make sure you win this.
Oh,
Aww.
Wholesome.
So
Jay's just
wholesome.
sitting there like...
it's not as wholesome as it seems. If he beats him, I take his place. So
Oh, that's
Okay.
We're really
Yeah.
gaming the system now, eh?
Yeah. Metagaming. Anyway, onto the blue leaderboard. So, that 5-0 at the very bottom of the leaderboard's bugging me out. Like, his differential isn't actually, it is half of that of the actual worst differential, but he's still at the bottom of the board. So I think he needs a win. It won't be this week, I'm pretty sure, but he needs a win.
Who is that again?
That is the Holy Crusaders, Hassan.
Mm.
The
And-
Cotonese and the Hippotas, which goes down every match.
Yes. Sitting
Wait,
at the...
he brings a cotton? I have not watched any of his matches. He brings a cottony?
He brings a Cottony, yes.
I love it. Come on, Hasten, win. I believe in you, THC.
We say this every week. At the very beginning of the draft, we were like, we really want to see Hippotas and Cottony work. And he's brung them both to every single match. And every single match, like a gust of wind comes in, or like the slightest drop of water, and they just faint.
At least the last 2 weeks they have actually been a bit more useful than simply being cannon fodder.
Yeah.
We've got the Ankara Arcanines and the Nevada County Caterpies, still both of them 4-1, sitting right at the top of the leaderboard. As we were predicting way back, Andy was always going to get himself into one of those top 2 spots.
It's beautiful because Andy is doing no prep. He literally just posts a team in our chat and is like, "Hey, does this look okay?" And we're like, "Yeah, I guess."
Yeah, he doesn't do any trials now. He's doing an Avdo. It always used to bug me that Avdo never used to trial as well, and now Andy's doing it. It appears that actually skilled people can just go in without having to trial and get rid of their bad ideas.
Yeah.
The amount of bad ideas you saved me from.
Well,
he
I
only has good.
I have a million bad ideas myself.
Don't worry, most of my ideas are bad too.
Or getting phone calls from Avdo saying, "What was that?" And I'm like,
yeah. In the past, I've shown him my team, and he doesn't even say anything. He just calls me and said, "What is this? What is this?"
But not quite that politely.
No.
Dang, he's always been really kind to me.
We've broken the barrier.
Here's my team,
just smash
and like, he like barely gives me corrections. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, you got your item wrong here, but like beyond that, you're pretty good." I'm like, "Thanks."
You see, in that scenario, he would just call me and say, "What is that item? What are you doing with it?"
Oh.
You're better than this. How come you're not doing what you should be doing? Why even that moveset?
But I happily accept it because every time he's done that, he's been right, and I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
I'm willing to accept that.
Back to this season of draft.
Yeah. Sorry.
So we had 2 timer matches. We had the Nevada County Caterpies pulling off a 4-2 win against the Fire Corviknights, going to timer. The Sneaky Sableyes drawing, but actually pulling out the win against the Ankara Arcanines at 5-5. So still not the worst we've seen, but right up there. And then, thankfully, no more timer matches. We had the Ottawa Superiors versus the Holy Crusaders, coming away with a 3-0 win. The Dragon Knights taking out the PKS Noobs King 2-0, and the Anaheim Appletons smashing the Bow Russian Boltons 4-0.
It is surprising to me to see Lior losing and in fourth.
I think
I spoke to him after that, and he wasn't really in a good mindset for that match. He made some extremely obvious and big mistakes that just ultimately cost him for that one.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, it started from like if I make a really bad mistake turn 1, it will put me in like a bad mindset for the rest of the match, and I'm thinking that might have been what happened with Leo here, because he kept in his banded Unpheasant on a Rotom and got outsped and KO'd, which
was only one of many mistakes that he made.
Yeah, that's like something I can't see Leo normally doing that. I think that was a really risky play, and I think he regretted it.
Instantly.
Of course, yeah, Unpleasant would outspeed most Rotoms, but clearly that one was built with speed in mind, and
yeah,
I think he let it get to him because, yeah, as we say, he made quite a few mistakes. But we know Leo doesn't usually make these sort of things, but no pressure, Leo. Just have fun. Okay.
He'll bounce back next week, I'm sure.
You'll bounce back.
But yeah, this is another tight one for those bottom positions. So currently, the top 6 are comfortably where they are. No one's fighting for one of those positions, but it won't take much for any of those sort of bottom 2 or 3 spots to get overtaken by someone in 7th or 8th spot. So it's not as
especially the 6th spot there.
Yeah, it's not as tight as the red leaderboard. Like, there's not going to be as much movement, I think, on the blue one, but there's still the other half of this season to go that could potentially shake things up a bit. But I do feel like we're firming up more than keeping things in flux.
Although if you look at the kill differential, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place all have potential to take 1st and 2nd place. All it takes is for one of them to win against one of the top 2 for them to steal their spot. If you look at the kill differential.
Let me take this moment to point out the fact that with the red being closer together, I just want to say that Red League is A League.
Oh my God. We're not supposed to have bias, Devin.
Don't bring that bias here.
It's not bias. I'm a guest. I'm allowed to be biased. A League is Red League. I mean, look at our kill spread. Look at our differential spreads.
If you want to be pedantic, in a way we're kind of the P League because both the former champions are in the Blue League. We don't have any former champions from PTG draft, at least in the Red League.
Yeah, that means it's going to be either you or me in the championship in the finals. Anders, it's going to come down to it. Just letting you know now.
I look forward to seeing you rock your way up there.
Oh yeah, I got this. I ain't worried. Scotty's a pushover. I mean, what?
Anyway, Devin, what are your predictions for round 6? So first up, it's the Ankara Arcanines versus the Fire Corviknights. What's your prediction for that match?
I want Fire to win because I want Andy to win.
Who do you think will win?
I'm gonna say Fire because yeah.
You believe in it that hard?
Blind faith.
Yep,
Blind
I'm
faith.
gonna see it.
But leaving the minus 18.
Okay, so I have not again, Blue League is B League, so I don't really pay that close of attention to them. And I believe in the ability of the 9th place to take down the 1st place. I've seen it happen in the past, so let's go.
Fair enough. So the Holy Crusaders versus the Nevada County Caterpies. Who do you think will win that one?
Andy. Yeah, that's Andy.
Okay, so you don't think 10th place is going to take down 2nd?
I'm so glad we got no bias here. No, but yeah.
Jeremy's Dragonites versus Roops' Sneaky Sable Eyes.
Roops.
Sneaky Sable Eyes for the win?
Yeah. I'm gonna go for Sneakies.
Fair enough. The Bow Russian Boltons, Arkin's team, versus the Ottawa Superiors. That's Vincent.
They got exactly 6 at the moment.
It really depends on how Vincent goes into it, and I have a lot of faith in Vincent. However, Aiken's pretty good. I don't know. I'm gonna say that could be anyone's game, and it really comes down to mindsets of the players going into that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they've had much like this. I like how I have a lot to say about this one, but every other match is just boom, boom, boom. No. Because I want to say Vincent's gonna win, but I know Aiken's good.
That's actually my exact same thoughts for the next match, which is Anaheim Appletons versus the PKS Noobs Kings. I think skill levels, they're both very, very close, and it's going to come down to that mindset for when they go into their battle as to who will probably get ahead.
Yeah. I think
Lior at his best has the slight advantage. I think he's one of the most skilled players we've seen, but I think he does let stuff get to him, I think, and then he starts making mistakes. So you never see him make mistakes much when he seems to be in a good mindset. It's when, I guess, things start going wrong or whatever that it starts becoming more common.
I still need to tag Lior back. Now that I'm thinking about it. He took me out 2 seasons ago, and he's consistently beaten me. So give it another 3 seasons and I can beat him.
Okay. So who do you think will come out ahead against the Anaheim Appletons versus the Noobs Kings?
I want to see Lior win, so I'm going to say Lior.
Fair enough.
I like him. He wears a suit.
Okay. So
that's the only reason I guess.
The matchups for this week, we have the Mighty Psyducks versus the Birmingham Buzzwolves. that was the 5-0 win to the Ducks. And
Yeah, you got to give it to Bam when he pulls things off. Like Buzz, actually, I think Buzz had the slight advantage in matchups here, but Bam just played really well. So yeah, very well earned 5-0 win, I think.
yep, Como finally coming in and doing what it was meant to do. It wasn't able to pull it off last week, but this week it came in, set up a sub, set up a belly drum, and just thunder punched everything to death. Oh, and his Quillfish switch into Kingdra, Swift Swim, Destiny Bond, taking out Kingdra with its Quillfish. That was just brilliant.
I would love to say I love shiny Quillfish sprite. It's best Quillfish sprite.
I can't even remember the shiny one.
It's pink.
It's pink.
It's so pink.
I swear like half the shinies are either green or pink. That's like the base default for shinies.
But yeah, I was talking with Bam after this one, and Quillfish did exactly what Bam had designed it to do. And I said, if that was your plan, you should have just only had Destiny Bond on Quillfish just for the memes. And he's like, bugger, should have done that.
That would have been excellent.
That would have been brilliant. That was his only job, was to switch in on a Swift Swim Kingdra and Destiny Bond it and take it down.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Anything else about this match?
I pretty much said everything that I think was important. I think Bam handled this so well. It's, yeah.
I
think we talked about everything major worth talking about, really. Just well done, Bam. That was a really fun match.
I actually got one thing to say. I appreciate that he opened up with the choice scarf testing on Mian Shao. It's this thing that I'm really bad at remembering to test, and seeing the scarfed Nidoking lead to test the Mian Shao if it was scarfed. Yeah, no, I liked that. I appreciated that. It was good.
Smart plays coming from Bam.
Yeah. He started off on a really good foot that match. He
had the control all the way from the start.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Good job, Bam. Congrats.
So, Anders, what do you want to say about your match?
Who, me? My match?
Anders.
No. Anders? I'm sorry. Yeah, go, Anders. Tell us about your game.
Major thing that I'll say against myself is I should have looked after Colossal better. That was scary. Because Crobat was only changed last minute thanks to advice from the Avdo. It was originally choice banded. So
didn't you tell me to swear not to tell Bam that?
Oh yeah, well it's done now.
Too late.
That's never gonna let me live it down, but yes. I just think I was hoping Bam would forgive, and now he's gonna watch this and he's gonna see this and he's gonna be like, Anders gets help from Avdo. It's actually Avdo playing. I'm like, please just don't. Now he's heard this, he's gonna say it even more. So I have outed myself. Great job.
I'm glad you can. I'm glad you leaned into that there, Anders. Good game. Good play.
Yeah. But thanks to Avdo having complete control over my team and actually being me. We have Crobat outspeeding Volcarona after
+1
with a death. Yeah. Because honestly, with Colossal could take anything Volcarona through it, even at +2. But I let Colossal die to Flygon because I was expecting a U-turn, which was the stupidest misplay possible. There were so many better plays there.
What did?
Sorry, Karen.
Wait. Yeah, I watched your match. I don't remember what exactly Noivern did to down Colossal, though. A hurricane? What?
Flygon did an earthquake to take out Colossal.
Oh, yes. You left it in on a...
Oh. Yeah,
so my was he was banded, right? And every time he'd used Flygon before then, he'd been U-turning, predicting me to go into Slowbro. It already happened once, and his banded U-turns are actually doing quite a lot of chip to Slowbro. And even though that was the safe play, and Slowbro was definitely living a U-turn, and even with that, I should have done that. I was like, ha! He's going to U-turn again, and I have Flame Body. He might get burned.
I
And then the
remember
earthquake killed
hearing
you.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, Anders, what were you? Oh, that was so bad.
This
Yeah,
could have been a 6-0.
I actually thought that I might have lost them there. I was seriously like, it's sad that I didn't record my perspective because I was like, I only have Crobat now. Like, if I switch in and he uses Psychic, Crobat is down and I have nothing to handle Volcarona.
You
That's
did get
wild.
lucky getting that Ice Beam freeze proc though on Credilli. That really crippled Nat from quite early, and then the frozen proc twice, I think.
Yeah,
and
I do think it
Yeah.
mattered more. I think it mattered more mentally than.
Definitely mattered in the mental game because, like, honestly, a freeze on Credilli was just going to be sitting there and taking hits.
Yeah, Credilli
anyway.
wasn't doing much against my team. I had quite things to deal with it.
Like, Credilli was a damage sponge going into it, and Credilli can still sort of serve that purpose frozen.
Yeah.
But
if you watch Nat's perspective, he really let that get to him. And so it's kind of like the Leo thing in that if you then like with my Dark Pulse last week, if you have something that throws you off mentally, you start making misplays and stuff. You know, like maybe if he hadn't have been thrown out, maybe when he was boosting Volcarona, he would have predicted the Psychic Crobat coming in, and the only thing that potentially could have saved me, because that was basically the only move I really could do once Colossal was down. I had a few other things, but they weren't surviving boosted Bug Buzzes. Neither Slowbro nor Hydreigon could survive boosted Bug Buzz. Toxicroak couldn't take Psychic or the Fire move, and Colossal was down. So all I had was, and obviously Nidoqueen couldn't survive a Psychic either. So all I had was Crobat. That was my only option.
And
so even though it was 5-0, this match was a lot closer than it seems. It was a lot closer than Bam's match. Bam was in control the whole match, whereas I wasn't. I'll openly admit it.
Yeah.
It certainly looked like you were.
As I say, Volk could have easily swept.
Yeah.
Now, Devin, your match.
What up?
Yeah, anything you want to say about that one?
No, I'm good. We can skip it. Let's move on.
Wish protect stop toxic. I love that meme. The memes that came out of this match.
Look, so going into this match, I kind of knew it was going to come to timer because in trials, every trial went to 45 turns plus. And like, I tried to figure out ways to work around that, but the one or two games I tried deviating from it, or like I tried doing a more offensive plays, I got bodied. Like, I had to basically, my goal going in was to maneuver myself into a position where I could sweep with Garchomp. That was my whole goal. And then that initial Rotom's in there, and I'm like, I switch out to Sweetie Bean, my Sylveon, and Sweetie Bean bobs and weaves and dodges the Will-O-Wisp. So like, it doesn't quite register in my brain that Rotom has Will-O-Wisp. And I see Rotom out, and he's out on Volcanion, and I'm like, he's gonna Volt Switch me. I'm gonna switch into Garchomp and absorb that. What's he gonna do? Die? And so I switch into Garchomp, and I get Will-O-Wisp for the second time in a row. 2 weeks in a row, I've switched into a Will-O-Wisp with Garchomp.
My poor boy, my favorite dragon. You're not making use of him.
However,
he's a Will-O-Wisp sponge.
This is all like this week, so it's week 5. My Garchomp has finally gotten 1 kill. I'm very proud.
Did your Garchomp actually get the kill, or did the opponent kill itself on your Garchomp?
The opponent killed itself on my guard Thompson. No, it was the Rocky Helmet rough skin combo.
Exactly.
I love that.
Mr. Meaty finally got to sling some meat and get it done. That's Guard Thompson.
More like he sat there and the meat was too hot and hurt the opponent.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. I was happy with it. And
I
then
must admit, I did cringe when you're like, "Have I stealth rocked? I don't think I've stealth rocked. I'm going to stealth rock." And I'm like, your opponent just got stealth rocks damage when it switched in, and you still threw stealth rocks out again.
He was talking about it as Kazee switched them on in, it was taking damage. He's like, yeah, stealth rocks is a good idea.
Hey, sometimes I make decisions, you know? It can't be helped.
I mean, to be fair on Kasim's side, he brings in this gravity that I still don't understand what the point of the gravity was.
It removes the flying type.
Well,
I think I get it.
Yeah, but it didn't really do much.
It didn't do much. It allows Excadrill to sweep the whole team, though. I think that's what he was going for. He wanted Excadrill to sweep everything.
That wasn't going to happen, though, because my Skarmory was built specifically to prevent that. Like, Skarmory was literally like, like a +2 Excadrill Rock Slide did 30%. I was just gonna whirlwind it out. Like, I was like, okay, whatever.
Super effective Earthquake. Isn't once gravity's down, isn't flying super weak to ground? So isn't that 4 times weak to Earthquake?
No, flying doesn't get it. It just basically removes your flying typing. Pretty much.
So I'd get hit with a super effective Earthquake, and that probably would have dropped me. But he wasn't getting to a position where he could do that. So, meh.
You were in control for most of that match, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I was. If I had not done the second Stealth Rocks and clicked Brave Bird ahead instead, I would have been able to down the differential a little bit more and be in 6th place.
You have no one to blame but yourself.
Yup. Like, I accuse Kasim of it because he switched, but really it's because I clicked Stealth Rocks twice.
The truth wins out.
I was really happy with throughout most of my trials on Sweetie Bean, I did not have Toxic. I had Yawn. However, I noticed in my trials, so this is how the plays went. Because every trial actually brought the exact same team, which wasn't the team Kasim brought. Every trial brought Alakazam, Noivern, not Rotom. Rotom almost never came. Rotom only came twice. Who was it? I don't know. I can't remember. But they always had Noivern, and they always had Milotic. And what would happen is they'd throw out Noivern, and I'd throw out Sylveon. And Sylveon would be like, hey, Noivern, I'm in your way. And Noivern's going to switch, because Noivern couldn't scratch Sylveon. They would try to hit it once, and I'd see it do, like, almost nothing to Sylveon. So they'd inevitably switch it out. And I knew that switch was going to come every time. And every time they consistently switched out into what's it called? Melodic, because they didn't want to risk the mystical fire onto Excadrill. So I packed Toxic to hit it with Toxic before its Flame Orb could proc and activate its Marble Scale. And I was so proud of this play. And I was so happy that it worked out so flawlessly every time. And then he didn't even bring Noivern. My buddy Greg said, I would have bring Noivern against you. You know Noivern too well. Bringing Noivern's a mistake because you know how to play around Noivern, using Noivern all the time. I was like, man, I don't even use Noivern that much.
I suppose when you think about it, the main reason to bring Noivern is its massive speed tier. But your team is not that speedy anyway, so most is like things like Rotom will outspeed you anyway. So I could see that.
My Cincino on my team was EV'd specifically to outspeed any of his Mons if they chose to be Adamant instead of Jolly.
Yes. Yeah,
but like As a result, yeah. Good match. Keep going. Whatever.
Yeah.
I've said enough.
Onward.
I won. Thanks, Kasem.
Then in the end, that's all that matters. So we had the Utah Mews picking up their second win against of the season against the Atlanta Braveries. This was very, very, very tight. I think this is one of those matches where Jay did not really pay attention to anything about his opponent. So he definitely hasn't gone back and studied previous matches. He hasn't really looked at what his opponent can bring because he made some very, very big mistakes, and on paper he should have come ahead in this match, but Regan came in, did what she's been doing week after week after week, and smashed out another win.
Yeah. I mean, I do find it, like, I suppose he's probably busy or whatever, but like there are so many options to basically find out what Regan was going to do. You always check your weekly sheets. So he would have seen the mons that Regan brings the most because you can see it on the sheets, thanks to you updating it. You got the previous matches, and we've mentioned it borderline every recap. So he hasn't paid attention to any of these. I do think the match could have gone slightly differently if Luck had been in Jay's side. But if he had known what he was up against, which he should have really if he'd been paying attention, he would have won. That's what I think it comes down to. But
he had both his new trades in on this match, and I feel as well like he brought in Stunfisk, which was a bit of an interesting bring. Xblad definitely did the bulk of the work in here, so it did prove why Xblad got traded onto his team.
yes.
But yeah, it felt like he was, I think, maybe trying to push too much on those new trades that he had, that he played too risky and wasn't taking care of his other mons, and yeah, they all just slowly went down.
And it's little things like his Arachnid. It's like it's weak to like nearly every mon on the enemy team. So little things like that make thing plays a lot harder. You know, Gudra is always going to be bodied by Salamence, potentially Togekiss. Yeah. Scizor, like half the actually like nearly all the enemy team can carry Flamethrower. Salamence, Togekiss, Weezing. They can all deal with Scizor as well.
I can confirm that Salamence carries Flamethrower.
Oh yeah, same.
I can definitely confirm that Flamethrower. Gotta look out for it. Regan packs Flamethrower on her. Salamence always does.
Yeah.
Gotta look out for that one. Ooh. Should have known it. I should have seen it coming. I really should have.
What is that? Actually, no, let's not get distracted. I can't remember. Yeah. Tell me afterwards which mon fainted for the Flamethrower. I can't remember.
I will.
So yeah, so can't really say too much about this match though. What were you saying, Devin?
Did the Mamoswine go down? I'm looking at the thing and I can't quite tell.
No, I believe. Oh no, the Mamoswine did go down to Arachnid.
Okay, good job, Jay, taking down that Mamo. Proud of you.
You don't hold anything personal at all, do you?
Nope.
But yeah, Stunfisk came in, threw out some stealth rocks, and then just died to Mamoswine. Yeah. So I thought that was a fairly easy predict that Mamoswine would Earthquakes, but he still left Stunfisk out. Well, actually, yeah. He completely left Stunfisk out. He could have switched to.
I mean, the only choice here really is Fable, but even for Fable, it's good. From Mamoswine, it's going to take a lot of damage. He needed a flying type, really.
Yeah, I was just suddenly looking at his team. I'm like, oh, he didn't actually bring any flying types. Oops.
You know what Pokemon would have really helped his team actually? Braviary.
Oh, ouch.
Just saying.
So the Atlanta explodes.
Yeah. Poor Bravery switching out for Xblad. But, Xblad took out 4 out of the 5 mons that he got down on Regan's team.
His flag is excellent, but he definitely needed a flying type, I think, especially if you're facing, And like the thing is, like, so Grey Rune
Goddamn
would actually
Jumpy.
outspeed Mamoswine, and then it would get close combat and stuff, so it could actually deal with Mamoswine. So poor Jay.
Yeah, just saying. Just
I
saying.
honestly think this just came down to poor prep.
Yeah.
But last one for the red division is the Gippsland Garbadors just destroying the Lionheart Lucarios 5-0.
Makes me sad. I like Mank. Manic.
Mayank.
Manic.
It almost sounded like you said Manic Mike.
I'm sorry. It happens.
But yeah, Scolipede is just ever since he got Scolipede, that little centipede's been doing work. It's come in, like he switched it in so many times, just switched it in, killed something, switched it out, switched it in, killed something, switched it out.
Should
Well, it's
probably
really
burn it.
proved me wrong, because back in the day, I used to use Scolipede purely for Baton Pass. And I guess in my ignorance, I didn't really think much of it as an independent mon without Baton Pass. And the minute they banned Baton Pass from Smogon, I stopped using Scolipede. But, like, after seeing how much it was doing and stuff, you look at its attack stat, it's got like 120 base attack or something crazy like that. It's really good. And then it's got speed boost, and it's actually like relatively bulky compared to other speed boost mons like Ninjask or Sharpedo. Like Scolipede definitely is really good. I've been proved wrong. I used to think it was mediocre, and now I've been
It gets
wrong.
it gets handled by Skarmory, right? Yeah, it gets handled by Skarmory.
Yeah, so just have a quick look, and yes, Scolipede took out four of those 6 mons. Hail took out 1 mon, and Mandibuzz U-turning took out Swoobat, so that Scolipede could come in and just destroy the rest of his team.
Yeah. I mean, Mike's biggest issue here is that Mandibuzz handled his best 2 walls, both Slowking and Amoonguss don't really like staying in on Mandibuzz, so it was always going to be a little bit rough for Mike here, I think, this matchup.
At least he was a little aware of that one, because he didn't end up bringing Amoonguss or his Slow King.
Yeah.
Yep.
He could have geared Slurpuff better toward handling Mandibuzz, I think.
Slowpuff is on Mandibuzz's team.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong. Okay, that's. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
I was like, wait, what?
Why was he not throwing Comfy out on Mandibuzz? Was he throwing Comfy out on Mandibuzz? He should have been.
Comfy could go on Mandibuzz. That
Yeah.
could have happened, but it is what it is. It would just mean basically that Scolipede would kind of get a free switch in there. But
yeah, and that's pretty much what happened, actually.
So, yeah, Comfy gets something to hit Scolipede, though, doesn't it? It gets I don't know, Mystical Fire or some crap.
I would have to check it, but it did not pack it, so.
Yeah. Okay.
And especially since he's basically using that as his fast mon because of his priority, you're pretty much relying on Giga Drain and Draining Kiss. Both of which are really not very effective against Scolipede.
Yeah, you got me. Okay, never mind.
And he had Defog on his Comfy as well, so you take out those 2 priority moves, the Giga Drain plus the Draining Kiss and the
I think that was my fault. I'm pretty sure I told him he needs to have a defogger. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did that.
Important because of Vanillux, though. Auravale is such a threat.
Yeah. And he brought in Comfy straight after Vanillux and got rid of that Auravale instantly. So it definitely paid off having that defog on there. But because of Scolipede, Comfy just was not able to stay in at all and was constantly forced out and put Mayank on the back foot every time he brought it out.
The sad thing is,
That's-
Comfey, if you think about it, Comfey handles everything on the team apart from Vanillux and Scolipede. And Slurpuff, actually. But Dragapult, Mandibuzz, and Golurk really don't want to stay in on Comfey, particularly, if it's playing well.
He didn't scarf the Tauros like I told him to either.
Life Orb, right? Sheer
Yeah.
force.
Yeah.
To
be fair, I just told him to scarf
would it be
Tauros
scarf
because I
just
was
for
like,
Dragapult?
well, I honestly, it was more so I was like, yo, use Tauros as a dedicated revenge killer. Like, with the scarf on it, like, it can, yeah, I'm pretty sure it outspeeds Dragapult with the scarf, because Tauros is base speed 110?
Yeah, I mean, I can see his point for not scarfing at the same time, though.
Oh,
because
yeah,
It
definitely.
outspeeds all the Mons not scarfed with the Life Orb beside Dragapult anyway.
Get the Dragapult, get the
Dragapult-
Dragapult with some, like, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sure
but you
Tauros
always
has
want to
got
use
Dark Move.
Comfey on Dragapult, really. That's, I mean, in my perspective.
But Dragapult's got to hit the floor first, though. Dragapult never
Yeah.
even came out.
You're gonna use the Tauros to, like, because Dragapult's gonna be like, "What up? I'm gonna hit you with a Shadow Ball," and Tauros is gonna absorb that and hit it back with, like, I don't know, Dark Headbutt
Or you could be
some
like,
crap.
"What's up? I'm gonna hit you with Dragon Dart," so that you'd be like, "Ha, Comfey."
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
could use your same
Yeah,
argument.
Yeah. What up? Let's go.
Shall we move on?
Yes, let's move on. So, first of the blue matchups, we had the Nevada County Catafees versus the Fire Corviknights, coming down to a 4-2 timer battle. Just trying
This
to find...
was a closer match than I was expecting, to be honest with you. I'm going to need to quickly look at the recap again. I've forgotten exactly how it went.
This was another match where Destiny Bond just came in. That was both Bam and Andy. They must have just been on the same level psychically. Just both of them were like, right, I've got a Mon that I want to come in, to go in, dedicated just to Destiny Bond and kill the opponent's Mon. And
Andy has a very long and sordid history with Destiny Bond. Like, honestly, like, I've seen the dude's used Destiny Bond heavily throughout his entire career. Just putting that out there for future people against him, I guess.
I like
I got nothing else to add.
doing head smashes as well. I swear by Tyrantrum. I think it's one of the best B tiers. Access to head smash without recoil, access to Dragon Dance, access to coverage with Strong Jaw. It's such a good one. I don't really have much else to say other than that.
Yeah, no.
Well, we're missing a big chunk of this
cool.
recording, and I'm just looking at it and wondering if the boys actually recorded their win properly, because I'm thinking, didn't this one actually...
That's what happened. Half of it was missing. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they lost the last 8 minutes or some stuff. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I'm glad Weavile, cleaned up. I like to see Weavile do work.
Well, we didn't see it. That was apparently
that's exactly it. Weavile apparently did work in the last couple of minutes, but we weren't around to see that.
Yeah. It was a feint attack, It got in the shadows and did its thing. Yeah, it was cool.
Weavile does, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good matchup. Yeah. I like Obstagoon. I've always liked Obstagoon. I think it's such a cool one.
I've
I
never
love
used
its
Obstagoon
shiny.
until recently.
I love its shiny. It just looks like toothpaste.
Yeah, I've always called it Colgate.
That's the name of my Togekiss.
That's a good name.
Anyway, on to the Sneaky Sableyes versus the Ankara Arcanines. Another battle gone to timer for Harun. The only battle that did not go to timer was their showdown battle, the very first battle, because his opponent didn't have a working switch. And I wish Andy had come in before that had actually happened, and we could have seen probably another timer battle, but maybe Andy would have won.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was a very tight match. Both of them sort of knew that they were going to have to take it to timer, therefore HP preservation was going to be essential.
Yeah.
I could not watch this match. I tried to. I got like 5 minutes in, and I was like, nothing's happened. And then I skipped ahead to like the 15-minute mark. Nothing had happened. Skipped ahead to like the 18 minutes. Like, okay, they're both down 1. Okay, whatever. And then I just kind of exited out.
I'm not even gonna lie. I shamelessly skipped to the end of this one, as I've been doing with Harren's matches the last few times, just to see who
just
won.
go to see the results.
Yeah, you know that.
You know it's going to timer.
Yeah.
Y'all have mentioned that like the reason it's doing this is because there's no legends, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, as we were saying,
Maybe-
To be
we
fair,
were
it's not just the lack of legends; it's the lack of D-Max and G-Max. Throughout all of Gen 8, we've had G-Maxes and D-Maxes to punch through walls. Because if you think about it, the 20-minute timer is a relatively new thing, and it's harsher now than it's ever been before. I think a lot of it is not just to do with the legends. I think that's part of it, but I think a lot of it's to do with the lack of D-Max and G-Max, because they're and they're boosting their raw power, their HP.
late game sweeps.
Yeah.
So next time, like next season draft, just ban all of S tier and ban all walls.
I mean, I think an interesting draft could be if you banned S and A tier. Let's just make it
There
like
you
lower
go.
tier ones. I don't think banning balls is a good idea, but we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I think it makes it more unbalanced because you're already seeing really fast, powerful low tier mons like absolutely clearing through, and that's with walls. So things like
Proof.
Noiva and Weavile would go even less contested than they are now. Because if it's just
Okay.
mons outspeeding other mons, you could literally just scarf the strongest and fastest mons like Dragapult or Weavile, Noiva, Crobat, and you just shred through everything. Whereas now, at least, they've got to be aware of the Toxapex. They've got to be aware of the Mandibuzz. That's why
Right.
despite these wally matches, I still think walls have a place in draft.
All right, Little Cup draft. Let's go.
I just want to point out, partway through this match, Mandibuzz taunts Skarmory, and then Harun's like, I don't want to have to switch my Skarmory out. He literally leaves Skarmory in there to struggle. That's how much he was willing to stall, that he leaves a Skarmory that has no attacking moves in simply to struggle to just use up a turn.
Wait for the taunt. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
He had no attacking moves on his
He
Skarmory?
had no attacking moves on his Skarmory at all.
What? Why is that allowed?
He should have had Roost, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Toxic.
I'm trying to actually work out what the last move was, because he'd had Defog, he had Stealth Rocks, he had Roost, so he either had Toxic or Whirlwind. One of those two.
He could have just put U-turn on it, and it would have been like slightly more acceptable.
No. What was more acceptable for Harun was to struggle.
Struggle.
Struggle is real.
Oh my gosh.
I can hear the actual genuine pain in your voice, Sir Dev.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Anyway, on to the Ottawa Superiors versus the Holy Crusaders. This was another win for Vincent, 3-0. Unfortunately, another loss for the Holy Crusaders, sitting at no wins so far for this season.
Got a Halucha?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was actually the one that did work this match.
Oh, that's good. Good job, Halucha.
Yes.
Did more
he managed
work.
to make his Halucha work better than Bounce.
Yes, I was going to say that.
The Hippotasticosity, though, he's basically bringing in 4 mons practically. I know they set up and stuff, but oh my god, what are they? They're just dying. He's sacrificing 2 mons every single match. He's basically playing with 4.
It's a personal challenge. You see, Hassan has gone into this and he's decided that he will make sure those mons are with him the whole time. He's like, he's power capping himself. He knows he would be too good if he didn't bring Hippotas and Cottony. That's
He'll
why.
not bring them for one match, and it'll just be like 6-0, 6-0, 6-0.
Yeah, that's probably what happens. He's got to power cap himself.
It's funny you say that though, because everyone I've talked to that knows Hassin and knows him as a battler have actually said that they don't know what the heck he's doing this season with his team, but he's normally such a better battler than what we've seen here today. So it's actually quite interesting when we get to the trades later on. He has finally decided to try and get away from his gimmick that he's unsuccessfully tried to pull off.
I didn't notice that.
He removed the power cap.
Yes, he has removed his power cap.
This is like Choke that takes off his belt.
He's like Piccolo, man. He just took off his weighted training clothes.
His anime mode comes out now.
I was thinking Rock Lee taking off the weights off his ankles. Rock Lee versus Gaara.
Oh, that's a meme. That is a meme. Hold on, I gotta make that. I'm gonna make that as soon as we're done.
Especially since next week he is going up against the Nevada County Caterpies. If this is a Rock Lee versus Gaara moment, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love how many memes we've made at this draft. And by we, I mean Ro, Steve, and Devin.
But we're going to move on because I think we're just going to end up rehashing everything we've said about one specific team every other recap so far. So the Dragonites versing the PKS Noobs King, coming out with a 2-0 win to the Dragonites. As I mentioned earlier, this one felt very weird. I really didn't feel like Lior was in a good headspace for this match pretty much right from the start. He literally just, very first move, he didn't switch his Unpheasant out, let it die to Rotom Mo, and was on the back foot from there, and just made a couple of extra bad moves later on that also just helped put the nail in the coffin.
Looking at his team, I'm wondering if he thought that Rotom Mo was going to Leaf Storm, predicting the Mamoswine. But it's such a risky play to make still.
Yeah. I think that's actually is what Lior said, but there were probably other safer switch. A switch was definitely needed, and there were safer switches than trying to put in Mamoswine if you are predicting a Leaf Storm.
Yeah, it could have been into Incineroar.
And then when he did bring in Mamoswine, he was under the impression that, like so many other people who use Rotom, that it was probably going to be Scarfed. Didn't anticipate that Rotom could simply be Expert Belt or Life Orb or something else. And Leaf Storm just came in and just took a huge chunk out of Mamoswine. Mamoswine did end up taking down Rotom Mo, but at a pretty significant cost.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dragon Knights had the control of this whole game, which is unusual versus Leo. But yeah, because the only other match that Leo's lost this season was the Harron match, and I don't think it's fair to judge anyone on a Harron match, to be honest, because that's basically a timer match. So, in my opinion, this is like the first major loss for Leo this season.
Oh, the finals are going to be a 6-6.
Oh my god, could you imagine?
I'm calling it here. I have seen into the future. The finals are going to end in a 6-6 timer match.
I still think it was weird, like right at the very, very end of this match, Incineroar parting shots out on Charizard, brings in Sharpedo. Instead of protect, I would be interested to know what Sharpedo's moveset was, because I would have expected a protect on Sharpedo so that you could get that speed boost proc, and from that point Sharpedo probably would have had the chance to take out, hopefully, that Charizard and the Dragon Knight's last remaining Mon.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a shame he didn't protect, but
yeah, actually, do wonder if he had it on there. He will. Oh yeah, he will come back. He does have a very tough matchup next game as well, but Yeah, I think if you can get back into that good mindset, and as we said, for some of the really top tier games where you've got people on the same level as each other, it will really come down to that mental game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, how you go into that and how you're feeling.
Yeah. Brains.
Me too.
All right. Anyway, last match for the blue division was the Anaheim Appletons facing off against the Bow Russian Boltons. We've been memeing this whole time, just the last 2 weeks since Bronzong got onto the leaderboard, the kill leaderboard. It's just,
Bronzong.
I have
King.
just been in love with the fact that Bronzong has just been on the leaderboard and kept its position from 1 week to another. And then this match, I'm sure he just did it for the memes. Jeff just brings in Bronzong, calm minds it,
sure.
leaves it in, was expecting it to die. It manages to live on 1 health, takes out 3 mons, and gets itself right to the very top of the leaderboard.
I mean, he knew that he had won at that point, and he knew that he could potentially be risking his differential. But so much respect for keeping Bronzong in just for the memes, just so to get Bronzong that bit higher on the kill leaderboard.
Yeah.
That really made me happy.
Bronzong is a real hero.
Yeah.
Because if Boris and Boltons had predicted that it wasn't levitate and used earth power, Bronzong was 110% down. So he was predicting him to use a fire move rather than earth power. It was good.
Even then, like 1 HP, that had to have been a mid to low roll because he was not expecting Bronzong to survive, but he's like, I'm doing it for the memes, and survives 1 HP, and that was enough to get that last psychic off and just take out that Nero
I want
King.
to see Bronzong memeing every match. I love this thing. It's crazy.
The bell from hell.
Oof.
Tangler was putting in work as well.
Yep.
Tangler is
very
really
underrated Mon Tangler.
For sure.
And even without Eviolite, it's still able to take a huge amount of damage.
It's impressive.
And any regenerator Mon is good as well.
I honestly really grossly underestimated Tangela going in. When I saw him pick it, I was like, whatever. That's ridiculous. And here's Tangela doing stuff. I like it. It's a noodle ball.
I really like it. I think, of course, it's not going to be quite as good as Tangrowth, but for a C tier, it's like one of the best walls in C tier.
It makes sense. It got banned from Little Cup.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting an amusing match to watch, I would recommend watching this. Jeff was just memeing the whole time as he videoed this. We may
Jeff's
have a little bit to.
Is amazing as well.
Yeah, we may have a little bit to do with that. We've kind of been egging him on, but we're not complaining at the results.
Yeah. We're bad influences.
Yeah, we are. But I'm happy to be a bad influence.
I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm being rewarded for my bad influence.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So we'll move on to the kill leaderboard, just so I can show off the fact that Bronzong is actually number 1.
King.
9 kills, 2 deaths, a kill differential of 7. Swept himself all the way from holding 6th position 2 weeks in a row, all the way up to 1st position.
I love it. Yeah.
I went through and just updated all of this as soon as I could. As soon as I realised Bronzong could potentially be in number 1, so that the remaining matches I knew exactly who was the potentials to knock him off number 1, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love this. This is such a good kill leaderboard.
I know, right? The only thing I'm sad is that Jinx is not here anymore. I'm calling you out, groups. I want to see Jinx back on the board. That's how we managed to get Bronzong so memey. We kept calling him out to keep doing it. So we just call out mons we want to see on the board.
I imagine it's gonna it's gonna hold its position. Yeah. Weavile and Mamo got nothing on it.
Bronzong, Weavile, Mamo, Weavile, Charizard. I love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Dragonite's Charizard coming from nowhere, rushing into the middle of the board as well.
With
Um,
focus
I was-
blasts and hurricanes. Like 70% accuracy moves just bring it to the kill leaderboard.
I'm minorly salty because I'm half convinced that the Dragonite's used up all my luck, because I was doing a draft match in a different league at the same week, and I was running Focus Blast Cabalion, and it missed every single Focus Blast I used that match. It missed. I think he used it up on the Hurricanes.
It makes sense. It all happens. Yeah, Charizard took your luck.
Took
Congratulations.
my luck.
Just like your first season Togekiss took all the luck for the following season Togekisses.
Togekiss will never be that good again.
No.
Did you know about that, Devin?
Yeah, I've heard the story a few dozen times.
Yeah.
We don't
But
talk
then
about that much at all.
There's that match, but then I drafted Togekiss for season 2, and it only got 1 flinch the whole season.
And he only got 1 flinch for me and all of season 3 as well.
So I used up all the flinches in that one Abdo match.
For everyone ever, for every following season.
It's why nobody's afraid of Togekiss anymore.
Exactly.
I used it up. It swept the whole team, and then it was done.
Like, they don't even bring flinch-based Togekiss anymore. It's like it's not worth it.
No, they
It's a
just
lot
bring
of gum.
Serene Grey Skuntank instead.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
That was a thing of beauty, true art.
But yeah.
Onto
Aside
the
from,
trades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So as you can see, the Holy Crusaders have finally decided to change a few things up. He has still kept Hippopotas.
He's kept both Hippopotas.
He's kept Hippopotas and he's kept Cottony. But he's gotten rid of Marill, which never made the floor. And his Wheezing, which he never used, he's bringing in Turtonator. And Manectrix, I don't even know if he's used Manectric, but that's now swapping out as well. So
Wait, he had Marill as well?
yes, he had Marill as well. Yes.
What?
Marill never saw the floor. Marill never saw the floor. Mind you, can I just point out that Cottony and Marill, neither of them were on our tiers lists until he drafted them.
So they're gonna be on the tier list forever.
No, because I have deleted them.
No, leave them there. Leave them there.
Marill's not on there anymore. Cottony's still on there because he's still on a team.
Pay homage. Let them stay. They've earned it. They were drafted.
But Cottony definitely has.
Cottony, at least I will admit, has been slight, maybe a little bit useful. Just tiny bit. So these trades are all going to be coming in for next week. So the Holy Crusaders has not switched out the 2 that we thought he would, but he has switched out. He is making 3 trades this week that will come in. I really do hope that they help him. The Ottawa Superiors are switching out 2 Mons. There's Stoutland and Crobat are buggering off, and we're bringing in Starmie and Roserade. The Borush and Voltorns are getting rid of Greedent, and then bringing in Vespiquen. The Birmingham Buzzwolves, Mienshao is out, Ludicolo is in. The Lionheart Lucarios finishing off all of their trades with getting rid of Taurus and Bolthorn and bringing in a Hail Core, Arctozolt and Abomasnow. And then Devin, you're swapping out Hitmonlee for Hitmontop.
Yeah, entirely because Bam said I stall.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, so I gotta lean into that. Gotta make my team bulkier. Gotta make my team stallier.
I think Hitmontop is generally better than Hitmonlee, apart from... I mean, just having access to Intimidate alone and then Triple Axle makes Hitmontop really...
I maintain that Hitmontop is the best user of Triple Axle outside of Weavile.
Yeah.
Technician Triple Axle boost. Let's go.
It's crazy,
Oh, yeah. Any thoughts or comments on any of these trades?
I'm really surprised that it wasn't Cottony and Hippopotamus leaving. The power inhibitors are still in play.
We're seeing the snow core from Mike here. I think he's swapping out 2 of his better ones, honestly.
Yeah, I was not I'm shocked he lost Bolton. The moment Minec dropped Bolton, it got scooped up. The moment it hit the board.
Well, both leagues
There's
swapped out the
a reason
Boltons and
for
got
that.
them snapped up.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I think. I honestly think Minec's making a mistake.
The thing is, I think between Abomasnow and Arctazor, it could be better than Taurus and Bolton, but it's so much harder to play. It's high risk, high reward. A Taurus or a Bolt Hunt is probably not going to sweep a whole enemy team, whereas an Arctazor, in theory, can. An Abomasnow with the Aura Veil is always useful, but getting the right time to get them out is so hit or miss. It's so risky. I just hope he can pull it off.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can bring those out. His timing and his switch-ins have been very subpar so far this season, but I'm hoping that he's learnt from his mistakes for this season so far and is able to put all of that aside and make these guys shine. Yeah. But
I think in theory, he should do a lot better next match, because I was talking to him, because obviously I try out quite a few people, but I was talking to him about things, like how he can improve himself in his matches. And he actually came up with an idea, and I think it's a really good idea, that he just has a sheet now where he lists the opponent's mons, and he lists like the mons that he can either counter or like check them, because like he doesn't really know them off the top of his head. So having that list there that he can just quickly look back on and go back to, I think is quite a good idea.
Good to know he's listening to my advice.
That's actually a tactic used in a lot of high level competitive playing. Like you will see Shady Penguin on his streams write things out. A lot of people in high level competitive scene do use pen and paper to keep track of things, because it's hard to keep it all in your brain meats.
And as well, if you get flustered, you've got something to look back on. And I had my speed tiers written out through last season, so I knew who should outspeed who and who my checks were. But I did not have enough information there. So there were a few matches last season where I would get stressed. I'd get panicked about the timer or something didn't quite go right, and I couldn't reset and be like, what was my game plan? And that did unfortunately cost me at least one match quite drastically, and probably lost me a bit of differential for a couple of other matches, because I literally lost mons or HP trying to mentally reset myself mid-game. So when I was talking with Mayank last week, I mentioned those little tactics, those little tricks that I was doing, and it's good to hear he's doing it.
That. Yeah, and I was giving him so much credit. I was like, "Wow, this is a really good idea from your part."
Well, good job, Rowena, helping my Manic out.
I really do hope it helps him, because it does. So many matches do come down to a mental game. You can have the right prep, but in the heat of the moment, you need something sometimes to refocus yourself. And I've figured out that those were my weaknesses last season, was that I had my speed tiers, I had my checks, but I didn't keep the checks proper. I didn't have the checks for late stage game, only early game. And I wish I'd had them for mid to late game, like which mons could sweep once these mons were down to certain percentages on health and such like that, and just made some very poor decisions in a couple of matches instead.
Well, I think Mike's main problem is that he's bringing in very questionable matchups sometimes. Like, not the actual matchup itself before the match, but that he'll see a mon and switch in objectively the wrong mon. That's the biggest issue I think he's been facing.
Forgetting what his checks are, leaving a Alolan Doug trio out in front of a Noivern.
A Noivern? That was that was. Oh, that was bad.
And I think that was just him panicking. Didn't know his speed tiers, which if he's writing this stuff down now, he will know his speed tiers, and didn't have his check reminders. So at least like if he'd had that information there, he would have been like, right, I can't safely get Doug Trio out without a hard switch. So what's my check? And he could have gotten comfy in for that one.
So
Yeah.
let's hope to see Manic play like a lot better in future games.
He's definitely got the potential, and he has done so much better in matchups where he has been calm. But it's the matchups where he's started to doubt himself, and then that snowballed into future matches because what's happened in that previous match is still affecting him in this match.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I swear if it's versus me that he pulls his finger out and starts doing really good.
I'm sorry.
Well, he's facing Jay first, so I think he has a genuine chance versus Jay. I think Jay has been wanting to do well this season, and I think the fact that he started off on a bad foot has kind of set him almost like Lior in a bad mental state. So he's losing matches that he really shouldn't, and he's underestimating opponents he shouldn't as well. We feel that was
It's hard to get out of that rut once you're in it.
Yeah.
Like having scraped by on the bottom, like it is so bad when you are down there to just try to put yourself in a position like.
I mean,
there
we
were
both
so
faced
many
it last
matches,
season, didn't we?
Oh
Me
yeah,
and
there were
you.
so many matches last season where I should have just shut them down. Cough, cough,
Yep.
Scotty. And
you're gonna fix that up this week, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, gotta do that. Gotta do that. But like, yeah, no. Once you're in the bottom, like, there were trials where I would just win in trial every round, and then I'd sit down and like the head game. You already lost it if you when you're in the bottom.
Yeah. It is rough to come out of that.
Yeah.
But that is pretty much it for this week. Anders and I especially do have someone that we want to thank behind the scenes.
Yes.
Especially the last. Well, I've been using them for the last 4 weeks, but Anders has been using them, I just think, for the last couple of weeks. We've got a spectator who's come in and been really avidly watching the PTG draft season this season, and he has helped us behind the scenes with making these recaps for the last several weeks. So I want to say a huge thank you to Steve. He's one of the admins here at Pokemon Trading Group. He's basically
call out to Steve. Thank you.
Massive call
Steve.
out. He's literally been writing down documents every single week. He goes through, watches matches, writes down every single move and Pokemon that the opponents brings in some commentary for himself, and keynotes things that we might want to bring up for these recaps. So huge thank you to him, because without that extra work, the last few weeks of recaps probably would not have been as good as what they have been. That document has just been amazing.
It's been absolutely massive.
Really good to be able to look back on things.
Yeah.
But we will see everyone. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Thank you, Anders, and thank you, Devin, for joining us this week. And we will see everyone next week for Week 6 recap.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Join us next week.
Meow, meow, meow. Have a good night.